same energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, this is 7 seas. I deal with life different, make that lemon squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. I got his.
What is up? It's Wednesday, which means it's Board TV, and we got a late arriving 5 o'clock shadowed my favorite merch shirt, Will, dropping in. But man, it's good to be back. I made it back from DC in one piece with, and we didn't leave any eighth graders in DC, so that's a positive. Did not leave any there, but
were there any you wanted to
maybe, yeah, actually that would have been okay if they missed a flight, forgot the bus number or whatever. That would have been maybe okay. But in reality, it's just really good to be back. It's always good to talk all things Yuga Labs and really just the crypto space. And today is a super special day. And as I throw it to Bryce, I do want to just say, like, shout out Bitcoin Pizza Day. What's freaking good? We got a lot of stuff to talk about today. Yuga Labs, obviously, as always, included, but also some government. I was just in DC. Maybe I I did take a picture at the IRS building. Maybe it was fucking me. Maybe I just gave them some good vibes, and here we are today, and we'll break that open. But
we were like, oh yeah, we got to go after that
markets. We got it. We got to get there. But man, happy Bitcoin Pizza Day, Bryce. Man, how you been?
So far, it's been a great week. Nothing but bullish news. Cannot complain. Still very much in the trenches, grinding for Blast Gold, but love to see some bullish sentiment and takes on crypto. It seems like everybody's kind of max long.
Yep.
Ready for the excitement to begin.
100%. It definitely feels good. ETH ETF, that seems imminent now for sure. And more so just, and again, we'll dive into it in a little bit, is just at least regulation talk and the process of making this where the United States is not like 7 leagues behind a lot of the rest of the world. So that is super bullish. Yes. We have been dropping the ball 100%. So it feels good feels like things are getting back on track. So Mr. Will, how are you? I'm sure you've been grinding those golden streets, but dude, how you been? Don't you worry. Nice. I got you, big dog.
Nice, my bad. How you doing, Will?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
He only knows how to use a pickaxe now. Sorry.
Apparently, it's everything else is out the window. Seeing this picture right here definitely reminds me that I need to do something in 3D, and I haven't gotten to it yet. So unfortunately, find some time soon. But yeah, I definitely want to go mess around with the 3D model a little bit. I don't know, the ball or the open, got the ball. Now I gotta just go dribble it down the court. I don't know. Fuck.
Yeah. Dribble that bitch down the court, my guy. Not down your pants. Down the court. Throw the hoop.
You do a layup.
I am lagging. I think I know the solution. I'm gonna hop off real quick and refresh, and I'll be right back.
All right. We'll see you in just a.
I'm not gonna click in stream. The instinct was there. I was about to smash that in stream button.
Oh God! Don't do that to us. Don't do that to us. But again, yeah, I just on that note, the 3D renders, the avatars, seeing all of this in the wild, it is super bullish. Just because, I also need to get on that. I need to go check out the tutorial. Doesn't mean I'll be great at it by any means, but at least I can do something, and it'll be fun to learn again a new skill. And summer is quite literally, right around the corner for me. And so, why not do that? And then here's another one, and we'll open this up here in just a second to Apefest ticket claim. But man, this little loop with the freaking sardines opening to the water.
Oh damn!
This is the shit where you're like, this is wizardry. This is magic. This is a wizard doing some sort of
madness.
Freaking like my brain is fried just looking at it. But man, shout out to Rita. Always amazing work. Bailey, another one that's like consistently blessing the timeline And then once again, this one that we shared earlier is from Zach, who's been a freaking ape forever too. Sarah and Zach are dope people that live in Hawaii. And again, another amazing creative and artist within the space. So I agree with Will. I think it's definitely a skill that I need to acquire. And I do have some time here as summer's approaching. So speaking of summer, speaking of, better times, beach maybe, the Apefest ticket claim happened. And I wanted to just throw it to you guys. I think I know this answer, but are you going to Apefest 2024 in Lisbon?
We are.
Heck yeah.
Heck yeah.
Freaking-lutely.
Yeah, I am not. Unfortunately, the timing is tough with having a third kid at the end of August, but I'm fairly positive and confident that there's going to be even more of these like localized events and potentially something else on the other side. I think that feels like something that's more of a reality, even bigger than last last November with Hong Kong. But my first question is, how was the process? Did it feel good? Did it work clean for you all?
Dude, it was buttery freaking smooth.
Nice.
Yeah, same thing here. I previously have had my Ape and Blend, so I've had a nice little loan on it. Paid it off. Took a few minutes for the system to update that I actually owned the Ape and it wasn't still in Blend. But
right,
once it went through, it was super seamless.
That's awesome. Very, 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 very good to see. And so again, if you haven't checked, yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say the one thing I don't remember from last time, did they make us check those boxes and say you agree to being filmed and included in promo content?
I feel like they did.
I feel like they did. I don't know. I just recognized it this time and I was like, oh, interesting.
The one that seemed new to me was maybe do you want us to use your ape?
Yeah.
Or
and I said, yes.
Please. Right?
Please, yeah, I will pay you to use my ape. No, not really.
Please use my ape. No, I think that's dope. And again, none of that's a surprise, right? We know that they're going to do a great job of marketing, and they always do such an awesome job of recap videos and live streams and all those things that I guarantee will happen. But if you haven't checked it out yet, you can go to apefest.com. The site already, just like Hong Kong, the branding is just, dude, it's just so good. Every single time they put these events together, that's one of the most impressive things to me is they're able to host an event. Obviously, the last two internationally, and by all accounts, Hong Kong went really well, except for half of them, y'all being blinded. But the marketing was great. The stylistic of it feeling Hong Kong-esque was knocked out of the park. You look here at Lisbon, man, all the marketing they've done this far, it just feels good. And so obviously you go on the site. You've got the freaking moving water. Again, I'm just thinking this is going to be cool merch. Guaranteed, the Apefest merch seems to be always quite good. And so real life awaits us. I actually love that because I think that's something that these obviously in real life events are so important, is that you actually get to shake hands with people, have a coffee, have a drink, etc., have a meal, and get to know people in the flesh, because we really do spend so much time knowing people online, and that's still dope as well. But I think taking it into the real life really does take it to another level. And so I don't know. I like the branding here. Chill, eat, drink, party like an ape. We love that. And then they had the +1 tickets, of course. Free admission for apes is always a citywide experience. Our weekend full of Apefest and community events will take place across Lisbon. Then they've got 2 of the places that they're going to have as locations. And then also one thing I found interesting is they didn't have a specific hotel that they had blocks of. They gave Ape Concierge, and there was one other, just blanking on the other MBA product that helps with basically securing hotels. And so I found that a little interesting, different than last time. And there's probably a lot of reasons for that. So again, if you haven't checked it out, get here. You can join the wait list still because it is sold out. No surprise there. You can read the FAQ. There's
no surprise, but you would think with how many people bitching on the timeline that nobody likes Yuga anymore or wants to go to Apefest.
Yeah, of course.
But it's still sold out.
No one has actual engagement until they talk shit about apes, and then they get some engagement. So that's what half the timeline does. Yeah, but if you look down here, you're right, though, Bryce. It's well said. Hotels, what's the deal with hotels? There are no official hotel blocks for Apefest this year. We are recommending reaching out to Made by Apes businesses like Ape Concierge, and I'm guessing that's Sleep, or I'm guessing that's how you say it, IO, to help book your accommodations. So I found that a bit interesting and different. And again, I'm sure there's a reason for that. And so I guarantee it's going to be seamless. Ape Concierge, I looked, they had a pass that I think it was like 0.7 or 0.75, and basically it was hotel rooms were covered on that. And you had, I think it was like free rides to events, and maybe there was something else, and help with airfare maybe. So we love to see that. Like, if you have people that are apes and can help you with this, why not, give them a little bit of a nudge and a salute. So at the end of the day, am I sad that I can't attend? Yeah, it sucks ass. I'll be honest. Like, it's really sucks not to go, just because it does feel like at this moment, because we don't have, well, we will maybe soon with Project Dragon, which we're going to talk about in a second. We haven't had other side, like, consistent, activations, and we have merch, of course, and we had the Fuck It Saturday. Do they do that this next year? I don't know. Maybe that was a one-off thing. Who knows? I thought it went well. But missing like the main event, if you will, as a member, it sucks ass. Like, I'm not gonna fucking lie and say like, oh, I'm super happy. I'm super, I'm doing really great, guys. That it's been international 2 years in a row, and I have like kids. Like, it makes it just so hard to travel, young kids specifically. And so I love it's in Lisbon. I would freaking go in a heartbeat. I was actually thinking when they announced it, depending on the time frame, that my wife and I would go, but this timing really tough. It's like 6 weeks after. It's like, that's probably not going to work.
Soon. That's
too
like
soon.
real soon.
If it was November, I think I would have tried.
Yeah, I could probably get away with that.
But October's tough. So, man, what are you? I'm going to go to Will first, and then Bryce. What are you most excited about? Of course, meeting apes, just enjoying, the festivities. But specific to Lisbon, I've been doing a little bit of reading up on just the kind of the history of Lisbon, because I've been kind of nerding out on that, even though I'm not going. And so what are you kind of looking forward to of just traveling to Portugal? Is it simply that you've never been, Will?
Yeah, never been. Excited to just get down there and find out what all there is down there. I don't know.
Oh.
I'm just, hey, I feel like that's how it kind of was with Hong Kong. I mean, we had been to Hong Kong before, but just getting over there and then like attending ape events and then like kind of just doing your own little thing in between was like a killer strat. So it was just like, we're just probably just going to run it back again and kind of
same playbook.
Go wherever the streets take us, I guess,
I think that's a good call. And Bryce, kind of the same thing, just excited to explore.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. Honestly, Will and I were talking about it. We're like, man, if owning these, these little apes kind of forces you to take a trip every year and kind of travel and see the whole world, like, that's a pretty cool membership token to have. So definitely excited for Portugal. Never been. And obviously, of course, meet all the other apes. I feel like this time around, I've like solidified myself a little bit more in this space. Like, I've interacted with more people, kind of will know more faces. So that should be pretty fun.
No, for sure. Definitely agree that the more you get to know these people on a little bit deeper level, even if it's, online, if you've had more conversations with them, more interactions, I think it's definitely, I don't know, it's like a trip. It really is a trip to like run into these people into the flesh, and give them a high five, hug, fist bump, chest bump, whatever you're into. It is super dope. And so again, I'm sure it's going to be amazing at the end of October. Can't wait to see, the merch. I feel like it's going to be fire again, because I felt like they did a really good job with the Hong Kong drop in tandem there with the Apefest stuff and the non, Apefest merch. I thought that one was great. Some of the fun Clubhouse, like the receipt t-shirt, like all those things I thought were really, really fun. And so I'm looking forward to seeing what's next. And they did some things that were more outside the box, right? They did the freaking ashtray. They did a lot of these like kind of one-off things that we hadn't seen yet. We had just been seeing, I love this hoodie. This is the OG freaking Bored Ape hoodie, but we'd only been seeing, black hoodies. And so it's nice to see something a little bit different. The socks were, I thought, a good and super cool, different piece of merch there for Hong Kong. So who knows? Maybe you will get, I don't even know what the hell is in Lisbon. Like, I guess, do they do a lot of seafaring? So maybe it's like a poncho seafaring thing.
Everybody gets a boat.
Yeah, everyone actually gets a yacht. Congratulations. You've made it onto the yacht club. But again, I think that's it'll be a great time. I know it'll be a good time, because I feel like Bored Ape Yuga just hosts the best events. And so I think it'll just be amazing. Let's see. One other thing I did want to point out, and then we'll get a little bit into, and I want to start speculating a touch on Project Dragon. And I wanted to show you guys the Kodamara that I produced live late last week, and we'll get your feedback on which is the ugliest or not ugliest. But before that, we talked a bit, and we have in the community about, I wish we had token airdrops, and I wish we had this, that, and the other, and this Apes Plus, which is I think Neon and Darth Vader and a couple other apes and mutant apes that have been working to kind of like secure, potential airdrops, token farms, whatever it may be. They announced this week, excited to bring you Apes Capital, a community-led VC made in partnership with Based VC Fund for Apes by Apes, exclusive access to BAYC, MIYC with the use of ApeCoin. So I'm interested to see what this means. What does this open up for potential other things? Because again, like there was a time not that long ago, we all remember, where people are like, oh my God, Bored Apes never get part of token allocation and blah, 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 blah. And everyone was kind of like, yeah, I don't think Yuga's going to do that. Well, I'll give a massive tip of the cap, because Bored Ape is giving these guys flowers too. This is as much as you're going to get, which is big, is they're reposting this shit. You know what I mean? Like they were never going to have their own, like they weren't going to bring in the fucking degenerate to, have as like a official Yuga person that, sets this up. But I think as a community initiative, I think it's cool. So like if you want to be more involved, if you want to check out, what 8+ has cooking, and they've had a couple opportunities already, I would just check them out, talk to Neon, talk to Darth Vader. I think they've got a Discord as well. And so you can get in there, ask around and see, what does this Apes Capital mean? I guess only time will tell. And so it is almost June, which is a little absurd if you ask me. It feels like the last, I would say like 2 months has gone really, really, really fast. And with that means a few things. There was a slight update. Oh, you know what? Really quick pause, because I thought of something that I wanted to mention. Did you see the slight merch information from Garga on Apefest specifically? I think people will be pleased.
Is it dry fit? Does it say we will give you dry fit?
There, he said Bright had said he wanted dry fit, and we did that. No, what he did say was, it sounds like they're doing pre-order for those that are in Lisbon, so you don't have to stand in a fucking line all day. You just pre-order and then you go pick it up when you want to. You go pick that shit up, which that feels like a good decision. So sorry on the back pedal. I just wanted to make sure that I gave a little shout out. I saw that, thinking it was in a Discord message, but it sounds like it'll be a pre-order for those that are attending Apefest, which is great. So you don't have to, spend 2 or 3 hours that you could have spent exploring Lisbon, standing in a merch line.
I will say sometimes the merch lines are super fun though.
That is true.
You're stuck talking with all the other apes, but
you can't go anywhere. That's
forces you to interact with other people.
That's true.
And then you have one common thing to bond over. Man, this line sucks.
Yeah, fuck this.
God bless. Okay, so now we're fudding the pre-order.
We're fudding no IRL line. We want merch complications, but we don't want insane merch complications.
Okay, gotcha. There's a thin line that we're trying to make. But again, shout out to the team to trying to make some adjustments and hopefully appease more people. Maybe not Will and Bryce because they want to be in the fucking 5-hour line. But again, with June coming up, there was a little bit of a tease on Dookie Dash, and Garga had a post on basically how it sounds like they were doing way more than maybe they originally planned on doing, having more varieties of things and different levels and layers that you would go. It's not just going to be the sewer, free to play mode, tournament mode, weekly things, like a lot of shit that's ready to go. And they were just, I think it felt like final tweaking on that. So I would assume, I'm just going to make a prediction. This is not based on any, one-on-one conversation I've had with Garga, that, Dookie Dash, I would say in the next 6 weeks. So sometime in June, I think, and that might be the last day of June potentially, but I think sometime in June before Project Dragon, Dookie Dash is on mobile platforms to download and play around the world.
It was originally slated for May, right?
Correct.
Okay. Because I was like,
maybe
I feel like it's been forever, and we were supposed to have the game already, but
it is still May. So maybe it's going to be next, Friday is the last day of May, I think, next Friday. I think, question mark. But
yeah, next Friday, 31st.
Okay, so maybe it's next Friday. But I'm going to guess it's probably June, just because they have been testing it out in the Philippines, and I think it was Australia, kind of on that side of the world. And so that's great. I'm sure they've gotten some bugs knocked out. And again, more so, they want to make it where there was like an arcade mode too. Like the whole point was they don't want it to feel like you have to be this fucking goat to like have fun. They wanted other ways to, enjoy yourself and play and have free play and whatever. Have these daily quests that you can do that isn't necessarily, go for fucking 10 minutes. Maybe it's certain things you got to pick up or whatever. So again, interested to see what that means. I'm going to guess before Project Dragon, just because it feels like that July time slot with Project Dragon is going to be like all hands on deck. Let's have a cool, fun experience. Again, some things are probably going to break. They've already said that as much because the plan is to have over 3,000 concurrent players. So, Bryce, I'll go to you. I know, again, we're speculating quite a bit here, and we have seen some of the teasers with Meebit, with the gun, and is it 28 days later? Because they did the call out to the movie poster, the one scene where the guy's on the fucking bridge. Do we think this is like zombies versus humans, and how do you become a zombie? Is it you drink the fizz? Danny Green had a tweet a couple weeks ago. He said, "Don't drink the fizz." So I said, I wonder if that's part of it. But Bryce, if you just had to guess, do you see this as like a large, like 2-team type of competition, or what do you think with 3,000 people?
No idea. I feel like there's like 10 different ways they could go about it. It could be like a team. I mean, I feel like you could take any of the Call of Duty little mini games. Like you could have there be a gun game. You could be a one in the chamber.
Dude, have you ever played Prop Hunt?
What?
Prop Hunt?
What's that?
No.
Dude, that one is by far one of my most favorite game modes. It's where you basically run around as like different props inside the game mode. So then you're like hiding as like a trash can. But like people that know the maps really well, they'll be like, "There's not 2 trash cans there," and then they fucking blow you up. So like, yeah, dude, that would be kind of fun, kind of wild.
That'd be sick.
There was like
and then it was like you had to know the swamp, the BAYC,
especially because there's just like a bunch of it's just a bunch of rowdy wild fun. Like if you're playing Prop Hunt with the boys.
Imagine you're one of the glowing balls in the pool of water. Sorry. Completely tangent.
Yeah, I mean, sky's the limit, bro.
Imagine you're the ball.
You see, there's like a million of those things.
Imagine you're the dookie on the toilet. I mean, like,
there's a lot to imagine there.
You got a little heavy metal box. You got to go find that cave.
I love that idea, and maybe that what, Yuga, we know that y'all listen to this. We know, like y'all have told us. You're hearing a great idea here from our guy Will. How about? Of course, it's probably not the first one in July, but you said every month, maybe in 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, let's get a freaking prop hunt or whatever the hell you just called. That sounds fun as hell. And make it the swamp. I agree with Bryce. It would be really cool if that one was on the swamp where you had to like kind of know some lore or whatever. I don't know. Like that could be fun. Could be fun. Cool. Need BitFizz for zombies. Yeah, exactly. And so it definitely feels like, I don't know if we're going to be zombies, if it's massive 2-team thing, if it's a free-for-all, that would be completely absurd. But, I mean, we also talk weapons, guys. We're going to have freaking weapons and, like, kicking the shit out of some MFers. So it just feels fun. Do I expect it to be the best game I've ever played in my entire life? No, I do not.
Yes.
Do I expect it to be a different experience, though? Because if you do have, 3,000 freaking players or even 1,000, 1,500 or something playing, that in itself is absurd. Like looking around and just like a fucking, mountain of zombies running at your ass. And you're just like, oh shit. That just feels bullish to me. So again, interested to see what Improbable, Herman, and the team does, obviously to make it an awesome experience. We know that Yuga does a great job, a great job of setting up the lore. We love the little teaser video they had of the Meebit. We love, the fucking poster they made that we saw in Other Side on the first Other Side town hall. And so it's just exciting. It's exciting to think every month we'll get some sort of different iteration of this, game or whatever it might be. I'm sure some of them will be probably some social experiments. A lot of them will be games, all kinds of different games and what works and what's fun and what do we like, what do we not like. And so that in itself feels like a fun summer. So we've got Dookie Dash at some point. I'm going to say June, though it could still be May. And then we got Project Dragon starting in July. I'm guessing I know which one you'll pick, but Will, which are you most excited about personally?
Probably Project Dragon.
Just for the fact that it's kind of pulling back the curtain on what things can, happen in the other side?
Just because I can whip a weapon out and beat Bryce.
Blast.
That's kind of
funny.
That sounds like a fucking challenge.
Hey,
we used to do like those 1v1s on Nuketown where it'd be like quick scope only or knife only. I'm pretty sure I'm like 100 against this MF.
Dude, he got destroyed every Saturday morning by my knife.
Okay.
This definitely sounds like it has to be a challenge.
Trust me, bro.
May 22nd. May 22nd. The source, trust me, bro, has thrown down the gauntlet. Apparently, he says he's undefeated. Bryce, Dookie Dash or Project Dragon for you as we move forward here into the summer?
Project Dragon for sure. We've already played Dookie Dash. I think it's fun. I hope normies absolutely love that game. But I think realistically, there's probably one of crypto Twitter that's like wants to jump back into the sewer, if I had to guess. But I could totally be wrong. So we'll see.
I definitely think some of it will have to do with naturally the prizes and what that looks like. Of course, they've talked about the plungers, etc., and that definitely sounds fun. But at the end of the day, we still don't know what that really means, right? Like at the end of the day, we don't know how the prizes will be distributed, what that looks like, and so it's kind of all just a waiting game at this point. And so I will also agree 100% that I am most excited to just get into Project Dragon because, I mean, why would I not? It just feels like it's the best opportunity to kind of see what is in store for all of us here that love freaking Yuga Labs.
Facts. Dude, that was a gnarly sneeze, Will.
Dude, did you see the
oh, yeah. You're after
the whiplash of that? I was like, oh my God. I was rushing for the mute.
You know when your face afterwards when it's gnarly. That it was like a really big sneeze.
We love the sneeze. I was not watching the camera, so I missed that. I'm gonna have to replay that later because
he's like,
I'm gonna have to snag that and make it part of our social media push this week. And so I did want to share. We'll talk a little bit about Legends of the Mara. There's been some updates on that, and for me, I did update officially my first 3 Maras, and I wanted to share them with you here this fine evening, gentlemen. This guy kind of looks like an Ewok to me. He definitely is like, seems like he's wise. He looks like he's got a head that's got roots everywhere and some shrooms or something. And he's got a fucking shroom dress, bro, or skirt, whatever the hell you want to call it. So that was the first one. Oh, also, the fun part about this is that Garga was watching the stream live, and he mentioned that I should use Chomps because it was one of the OG Bored Ape artists with, of course, the swamp sediment because I mean, of course, it's a BAYC OG artist, and so that's what I did. I only did 500. I wasn't doing anything too crazy, but this one is special just because of that. It was super cool to have Garga always. Of course, he's around, and seeing him drop in was really, really fun. So that was the first one. The second one, I got this MF who looks like he's had about 12 beers on a Sunday afternoon. Ready to,
for sure.
Ready to party. The coolest part, I think, on this one is his head. It looks like a crocodile or alligator skull, like on the top of his head. So definitely a swamp creature of some sort, with like a
one swamp monster right there,
with a fucking
elephant / octopus ears.
Yeah, literally, dude, and a big ass belly, bro. He will outdrink anyone on Twitter, guaranteed.
Sure. He's got some code stored up in there.
This is Iron Man right here. So this is my third. I put the most in. I did a little mix on this one. And so I knew it would be the most detailed. I really like this one. I just think it's really, really cool. Reminds me of Iron Man.
But it totally looks like he's flipping you off, like coming out of the eye.
Yeah. The one little finger. He's definitely flipping off the world for sure without having to use his actual arms and hands. So some Iron Man vibe for sure, some aura about him, but also kind of outlandish, which we like. That's the whole point of this Kodamara art. And so again, just shout out to the team, of course, for creating just some really cool art, some fun art. And so with that, Legends of the Mara season 3 officially donezoed. Are you, either of you, interested in what is to come with Legends of the Mara, specifically with drinking freaking soda, bicarbonation, bad idea on stream, with Faraway taking over the reins? Bryce, are you excited? Are you hesitant? Or are you just not interested on what is to come with Legends of the Mara?
If they were to release stuff like right this moment, I would not give a single crap. if they release stuff in like a couple months when I'm maybe not so busy farming, like, okay, I might care and like actually look into it and stuff. But as it currently stands, I relocated some Kodamara and other Mara to a new home a couple days ago. And maybe one day I'll acquire them again. But for the time being, I just don't see myself too interested in it.
Not enough energy for that in this moment. Is that is that a fair statement?
Yeah, pretty much.
Sure. Will, what is your thought, your takeaway, your sentiment? It looks like you're in a fucking strobe light or a tornado's about to hit you or something.
All these lights going from focused to not focused.
Sorry, I just opened up
No,
the
you're good.
of tabs, which is probably slowing me down.
This dude's got 57 tabs. 69 tabs up.
No, it's more than that. It's like 130 something.
Oh, Jesus. Take the wheel.
That's called farming.
Yeah. What's your takeaway? Obviously, you're farming, but your overall sentiment gauge of interested to not at all with what Faraway potentially may do. And I know we really don't know a whole lot. We know it'll be some sort of iteration, sort of like a 3.5, if you will. But is there any hope or interest in a future of Legends of the Mara?
I mean, of course, I would like my bags to be saved. Is kind of my take right now, but like, I don't know. I think timing on if they rush something out right now is probably not going to be the vibe, unless if they are, able to capture a bunch of the attention. It just feels like it's all focused in other areas of crypto. Lots of it is into meme coins, Base and Solana, which I don't really haven't made my way over there yet, but that's taken up a lot of energy. Then of course Blast and Blast farming across all the different dApps is taking up a lot of energy. Ordinals. And I don't know, ordinals have kind of faded out a little bit.
Well, yeah, they faded out, but they were previously taking up a lot of energy.
They were for sure. But then I don't know. I mean, realistically, I think it's kind of a dangerous spot to be buying ETH NFTs. The one thing that I constantly I tell Bryce this all the time. I constantly keep falling back on this thought of I remember the last cycle when I was first exploring NFTs, I was looking at pieces of art that were purchased for 20, 30, 40 ETH, which at the time ETH was $200. It didn't seem so ludicrous to spend 40 ETH on maybe an X copy piece when it was $200 Ethereum. And so I feel like I don't want to repeat those kind of plays this cycle that those people played last cycle. And I feel like the biggest threat currently is it's not NFT's time to shine. I feel like there will be a moment when it's okay, NFTs interstage left, right? And then they'll take off. But realistically, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a complete just chop across the board, everything, that was once 10 ETH is now sub 1, just getting absolutely crunched, right? That would literally just be the result of ETH becoming extremely more valuable than it is today, right? If we go from 4 to 8 to 10 to 12, bro, yeah,
please.
I don't you don't want to be holding NFTs during that move. And I think I don't know. That's the one thing I'm just really trying to prepare myself for. I feel like we had the initial warning shot when ETH went up to 4K and then came back down to 3. We saw a nice little relief bounce on some NFTs. I bought and sold a crap load of Kodas at around 1. They went a little bit lower and then they bounced to 1.5. Now they're kind of falling back down now that ETH's getting some more attention again. And it's just I mean, realistically, hold on to your hats. I don't know. This is the first full cycle that I will have gone through. I didn't I came in the middle of the last cycle, so I didn't get to see the whole transition from the insanity, but it was already a pretty insane move going up to 4K. And everything in the market reacted pretty negatively for NFTs. So I don't know. not calling anything too crazy here, but just trying to be prepared bag wise, and not be too over allocated to Azuki. Like I had a bunch of freaking Azuki. I think I had like 12 or 13 of them, maybe. Sold all of those off. Just didn't feel like holding them for potentially what could be 5-6 months. Because that's kind of like the messaging that Zagabond had given in his interview. He was like, yo, I'm excited for the next 6 months. And to me, that was kind of like, yo, the token is not coming for 6 months. Because like it's going to go out with a bang whenever that time comes. So yeah, I don't know.
I think the biggest thing is we need more people here too. Because like it seems like it's such a small pool at the end of the day, like especially not even just NFTs, just in crypto in general. Like we need more people to do shit coins and check out DeFi and build some fucking protocols, builders, buyers, speculators, collectors, all types. I'm not saying one type. We need all types to come into the space because you just like, let's just be honest. We see the same characters everywhere, right? Like we see that, like we know like all the main people, right? And it's not like we're seeing, we're dude. Here's a really, this is a small fucking sample size. It's very small, and it's maybe a weird example, but I'm gonna give you one. So I have a decent following on Twitter. I think I have 17K or something, right? Nothing crazy, but I get decent engagement from the 10 of us that are here, in crypto, 10,000, whatever it is, 100,000 people. Dude, I made a throwaway comment. I mean, a throwaway, fucking nothing, no groundbreaking shit on a sports related tweet. Not even trying. I was not attempting to do anything, right? Yo, that was last night, I think. That shit had like 50,000 views in a snap of a fucking finger and like 700 likes and 2 snaps of a finger. And in that moment, I was like,
crypto Twitter small.
Dogs, we are in a small fucking pool. Because this was not like a clever, witty. There was no meme. I was simply just like Phil, non-filtered, saying a simple sentence, and I was just like, damn. That's when it like just reminded me real quick. We were in a really small pool, and that's not a bad thing, but it's just a reality. And so it's like, what does bring the next people? Gaming will onboard some. I would agree with that, but it's going to be other things too. I think
24/7 casino.
The casino is going to onboard people 100%. Of course, of course it will. Like why are casinos around the fucking nation? Because they're a moneymaker, right? Like people go in and they stay and they enjoy themselves. Okay, whatever that is. And with that, I do want to wrap in the last 15 minutes. I just want to talk about this. Guys, today, so the government actually did something good, it seems, and passed some legislation basically to get things moving where banks, I think, can hold crypto or something with regulation being more clear for them to make it easier for those entities to do it, as well as kind of paving the way of, hey, let's have a conversation of what it means to have crypto in the United States, which is kind of what a lot of us have just been asking for. Now, there's a slippery slope. You don't want too much government intervention, of course. And also, of course, the fucking election's coming in like 5 blinks of an eye. And so some of this is kind of like, funny timing. But I mean, I would say, the Coinbases of the world and those people that are on Capitol Hill and having conversations and trying to push the needle. I felt like today was a positive day. And so that's, I think, another massive way how we start slowly bringing people into the space. And it's not going to be instant because a lot of these people, like, having a ETF approved, that's not going to mean that they're on crypto Twitter the next day. No. That's not how that works at all. But will some of them start to like peek out and want to learn more once they get a little bit involved? 100%. That's how it was for all of us. Like, think about when we got in.
All people have to do is buy a token, have it go up in price, and then they're like, wait a second.
Let me actually do some more. Oh, wait.
Like, hold on. I put in X amount and made $1,000. Like, wait, huh? That was the easiest money I've ever made in my life.
I feel like that's not everybody's story on how they get hooked.
Yeah.
Yeah, they make a little bit of money in crypto, and it's like, wait, this was easy and fun.
Dude, yeah. I mean, hit like a 3X, and I like lost my fucking mind. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah. But that's the thing is that's when they start exploring. That's what we did too. Like anyone that, got interested, it's because, and maybe it was just, an interaction. Of course, a token went up, an NFT went up, a coin you were holding went up. whatever it may be. Maybe it was just you were holding ETH and you're like, holy shit, this went up $200. What the frick? Like, because if you've not been introduced to crypto at all, like that's a massive thing. And so I think that's where we start to see a slow trickle in, and then it'll be like slowly, then all at once. Is we're going to have people that just aren't even thinking, and they're allocating certain funds to an ETF of Bitcoin, ETH, and some people are talking about Solana now too, which is wild as hell. But then it's going to be all at once where people are actually here. And it doesn't mean that they're all going to want to buy NFTs. I'm not saying that at all. Please do not twist my words here on Board TV. But will some of them start to be interested in different NFT or facets of what an NFT can be? Sure. Does that mean that it's going to be all the NFTs that we're holding? No, it does not. It could be things that are completely new, different. There is no guarantee here. But I would just say be comfortable in whatever you're holding. You have to be comfortable and be okay with that price going down, staying the same, and the off chance maybe it goes up. But I think like you should be thinking this price is going to be this price forever, or it's going to go down. Like I think in NFT specifically. Okay. And so if you're comfortable in that, great. And maybe you're building, like for me specifically, just speaking on Phil, I love doing this. I love talking to you guys every Wednesday, right? Like I love doing infographic stuff. I love I'm starting the show on Fridays where I'm just shooting the shit about, what's happening on crypto and Web3. I'm trying to build with it, and it's not because I think I'm going to be a millionaire. I just enjoy it, right? Like it's been like, sounds very boomerish of me, but it's like it's become a new hobby. It's become a new passion of mine where I get to talk shit and wear a fucking monkey JPEG as a PFP. And that's been really, really cool. So if that's you, dope. There's still casino action. There's still DeFi action. You can go fucking crazy on Blast. And if you have questions, telephone 1-800-A-RAVING-BRIGHT. It's the combo platter. You can get both of them on the line for one single price of $69.99. But I guess the point is, I think today was a great day just because it's another step in the right direction of the United States not falling so far behind that they never catch up, right? At the end of the day, 100%. It just felt like we were about to get lapped.
Yeah, it's one step closer. We're not like there yet, but one step, baby steps.
Because it might not even be fully approved yet, but like at least it's like there's
sentiment is
some
there.
Positive signaling here that like, hey,
this might happen.
Some tides are turning, right? Like
yes, yeah. Because for a while,
Nancy Pelosi vote in favor.
Yeah, of course she did.
Did she really?
Yeah.
Oh, let's go, Nance.
She probably already bid. She already bid. I don't know. She probably had like 500 ETH that she bought right before the news, and just
honestly,
she's gonna start doing Franklin style slideshows of all her apes.
Yeah, right. That'd be hilarious.
Oh, dude, she starts doing slideshows of her stock trades, bro. Imagine
if she bought a bunch of apes. I think I would consider being out actually. Though it would be very memeable and maybe really great for the brand. Super memeable. But I think you guys are right. It's a step in the right direction. Doesn't mean everything is Cheerio, but the opposite could have happened too. And it felt like that was a reality, like that we were just everyone was gonna move. People were. How many conversations did you hear of where people are like, "Dude, I got to get out of here. I'm gonna look into moving here and maybe keeping a dual citizenship." Like I had multiple people talking about that.
I still might if they're gonna try and tax the fuck out of me, but
yeah, exactly. If they're still gonna,
I still might want to move.
Yeah, nothing is clear. We're not completely clear skies, but it's also not a thunderstorm. We got partly cloudy with a chance of fucking meatballs apparently outside. But again, it feels a lot better, I would say, than even a week ago. So
if we could do taxes on like things you pull out, would be so much better.
Yes.
Excuse me, when you sit down at a poker table and you win a hand,
you win $100.
Do you pay taxes immediately? No.
Of course not.
You pay taxes when you go cash out. So what the fuck's the difference?
It doesn't make any sense. And that's why.
Then I guess you're calling the whole thing a casino. And then it's like, okay, then you got restrictions on where you can do that. Blah, blah. Anyways.
And that's where it gets messy too, because you want to have the right people making these calls and legislation, right? You want to have the right people in the right corner and hearing the right information from people that actually know what the hell they're talking about. Not just a bunch of old politicians, which is what ends up happening most times. So again, we're not completely sunshine, on a beach. But it feels better than black clouds everywhere and doom and gloom crypto is never going to make it in the United States of America. So any other, things that are interesting to you? I know you talk about Blast a lot, and that's kind of where all your energy is going, but anything else that's just like stood out to you, anything at all in the space, projects, anyone in conversations, articles, anything you've read, something that's interesting to you? Could be bad, good, or indifferent, but anything that has interested you. I have one after you guys go.
Trying to think if there's something that I was thinking of earlier that was kind of an interesting. Oh, something that this is not maybe something that interests me per se, but it was just an interesting thing that I hadn't really put a lot of thought into. I was listening to a podcast earlier, and there was a conversation around, people that want to get in the trenches potentially should not, like, especially for like meme coins. Like, all of that action is taking place off of Twitter and is more so in Telegram.
Yeah.
Which I hadn't really sniffed around Telegram too much, but like, have either of you heard that or thought about that, or like have any sort of interest in potentially like finding out more about what's going on Telegram? Because like, it's one of those things, like, you got to know where the freaking attention is. And if the attention's on Telegram and different Telegram chats, like, oh man, I got some research to do, right? Like,
yeah, well, I think the big reason it's on Telegram is because that's where all like the trading bots are. So if you're going to be buying soul shitters, like, you really don't want to be doing it through like Jupiter and Radium and stuff. You want to be using like those bots that are like on Telegram. But I was in like a soul kind of chat room. Obviously there was like a free one, and then it was like, you have to pay some soul if you want our exclusive chat room.
Yeah.
And a lot of it was just people shilling shitters. And then, there was the occasional, you could get in, flip, and say GG. But
yeah,
there's
it definitely seems like
what's up?
I was going to say, it definitely seems like Wild West territory where you definitely got to be careful. Otherwise you might be exit liquidity for somebody. But
facts.
I think the same could be said for like Twitter Spaces, though. One thing that I've just like come to more of a realization is, on that same note, is like, man, I used to fucking live for Twitter Spaces back in 2021, 22, where it felt like good conversation, and just, a lot of it was hopium for sure, looking back, and like, oh, what's to come? Not just in Bored Ape, I'm talking, you can talk about anything, protocols, NFT projects, price of ETH, whatever it may be. I listen to them now, and dude, I've become a cynical MFer because I just listen. I'm like, this is some straight bullshit. Like 90% of the time, that's what I'm thinking, which is kind of sad, I suppose. But I guess maybe I'm more aware now than ever before. The Telegram thing, I had heard the same thing, Will. I had heard that that's where you need to be. I'm not super interested. Not that I would never do it. I'm not super interested in that myself, but I definitely had heard that.
Yeah, I was going to say something else about Twitter Spaces.
Nonsensical.
It definitely feels like you got to just find the ones that are actually providing like good value.
I agree.
I feel like Easy Eats Bodega guy, the Bodagos, he does an interesting, what is that, 8 a.m. Eastern spaces. Some of it's shooting the shit, and then like some of it's actually some serious, like, let's talk about like some plays, some things going on, followed by their Nifty Portal podcast that crew does. I feel like that is like, you get like a nice little mix of like some joking around, but also like here's some information. I also feel like the Full Hour and Rug Radio, Wrecked Radio, I guess, the ones that involve like OSF, Mando, those people. Those are some good ones where it's just like you get some level-headed takes about the current state of things in the market. And then I'm sure there's some other ones, but those are the main ones that I kind of frequent. Everything else I feel like is kind of like noise. The ones where it's like a bunch of the Zoomer kids just reeing on the timeline. Bro,
that's my
higher.
I really don't care about your take on Nina's Cool World's installation of butts on these flat Stanleys. Like, it's just okay. You're not here for the art. That's fine. Like, I don't need to hear
don't
hear
buy
your
it.
take on why you think Yuga's going in the completely wrong direction, whether it's true or not. I mean, shit.
I agree with this, Squirtle.
Oh boy, let's see if we got freaking wrecked on the rare only tournament. Phil, thoughts on Fantasy Top?
I fucking hate it. You don't want my take on it.
Really? Why?
Why?
It just like it kind of plays into exactly this conversation of just like a lot of it is just bullshit. Like I am tired of fuck it. I don't give a shit. I'm just tired of
Let's
like
hear it. No, give the rant. What
Say
like,
I understand it, right? Like I get it because like just at the most basic thing, like fantasy sports, I enjoy that. Like I've always enjoyed all types of fantasy sports and betting and things like that. I get it. I understand it. And I also understand the premise, right? I'm having a hard time of like paying attention to fucking Joe Blow because they got 120,000 followers and they tweet out fucking nonsense, but it gets traction because the space is children. Like it's hard for me to care, honestly. I can see like I hope people make fucking bags like that. At the end of the day, I don't care what it is. You could be shitting into a toilet. If you can make some fucking money doing it, dude, fucking power to you. I will never shit on somebody's bags, whatever they're making. I just like, man, it's just not interesting to me at all. It feels unorganic. It doesn't feel real. It feels very like the same type of stuff I felt with like Spaces recently. And for me, again, like I think I was blinded. I thought Spaces were the fucking place to be. And now like I still listen to them occasionally, but there's a lot that I just leave now. And before I would have just let it fucking rip. And so like I don't like them. I don't like it, I should say. I understand it. I just like for me personally, it's not interesting to me at all.
I agree a little bit with the unorganic aspect, right? Like especially at the start of it, like right now, while it's so new,
sure.
you do have every single creator that's a hero going absolutely ham. And then we're already starting to kind of see that they're like getting a little burnt.
Yeah.
And so
sure.
I do think like right now for sure, yeah, it's probably a little bit unorganic, but I think as the dust kind of settles and it turns into like, okay, this is actually going to be a long-term game and not just like a 2-week thing, you just because you have somebody's card doesn't mean you have to like be in on all their tweets and stuff. Like it doesn't mean you have to go listen to and look at Joe Blow's tweet. But I do think it's like just a trading card game. It's pretty interesting. So I think you'll be able to play the game a little easier kind of later when it's not so blown out of proportion.
Yeah, I get it for sure.
It's currently fueled by a massive truckload of Blast Gold. So that's why prices were running crazy. That's why everybody was kind of spun up about it and whatnot. And so, obviously that's kind of like why I've been like participating with it is like, I can literally throw money into it and make more Blast Gold than put into it so that even if the cards nuke into oblivion, it won't matter, but because I'll just walk away with a fat bag of Blast Gold. But it is because the kind of strategy building on like, how do you build Legends of the Mara team with codas and whatnot and different things. It's the same kind of strategy building kind of stuff going on there, which is like, okay, let's look at data. How has these different profiles done with engagement over a long period of time, over their current, few days time span, that kind of stuff. So it's like, if you kind of have a good handle on that, which I don't have a good handle on like half the people on that board, but like, if like a few of the key players where it's like, oh yeah, like Crypto Kaleo, like dude's all like, if he's going to be over there tweeting like, one Bitcoin is 70,000 United States dollars or whatever, then like, and he gets a whole bunch of engagement, then like, of course his card's going to be at the top. So it's like, I don't know. It's just kind of like a silly, stupid way to like just interact with some of the things that are going on in crypto and then getting rewarded for it. We got Squirtle over here talking about Wolf Game.
It is back.
Wolf Game is going to be one hell of an interesting thing to see play out. We're going to be getting another Blast Gold distribution on Friday, maybe
tomorrow, potentially.
And tomorrow, Friday, sometime soon. If Wolf Game gets a massive amount of Blast Gold, then it kind of sets the tempo, the pace, the bat signal to other projects to potentially be setting their sights on bridging and coming to Blast. You know, obviously it's not going to be for everybody, but I do think that the kind of environment that's being built right now on Blast is like really allowing for anybody who comes and gives it a shot to essentially get supercharged with an insane amount of rewards that they can like return to their users. And so it'll be really, really interesting to watch and see if Wolfgame actually does get that big allocation, because I mean, what better way for, you know, someone to come buy your dead bags than to literally just get a stupid like you're basically just getting injected in airdrop. Like it's one of those things. Like I wish Yuga would just go do something on Blast, build something on Blast.
They
and
would
then
get
it
a
would
gold
get
allocation.
supercharged. It would get supercharged with the gold allocation. And then, you know, everyone would be happy. It might not seem like it, but I feel like that's probably
where,
like, I mean, ask a Wolfgame person right now. Hey, how do you feel about your bag going up and the possibility that you're going to get some Blast Gold? Are you happy or are you pissed off? Like, my guess is majority of them are happy, right? Like, I'm happy. Squirtle's happy. Okay, if Squirtle's happy, everybody's happy.
That's where you kind of said this comment earlier. I mean, there's I don't know why, if like Yuga is, you know, really anti-Blur, anti-Pac-Man, anti-Blast, or if they just have like too many, you know, people that work there that are like F Blur, F Pac-Man, F Blast. But it's like, scrap Ape Chain. Just scrap it. Move everything over to Blast. There's your incentive for all your holders. And like, you're going to have so much attention from degens, which is kind of the culture we want as apes, is that kind of degen fuck it culture. Like, it's all on Blast. It's not going to go to Ape Chain. It's just not. I don't know. Then it's you know, maybe they're not wanting LOTM and Ape Chain to be like a degen culture.
But I mean, if we're going to bring Ape Chain into it, though, I mean, the biggest issue that we run into with like L2s is there's just not enough funds purchasing the things that are being participated with. So it's like, you know, we had what was it? Battle Plan by Pixel Vault. They launched something early on Arbitrum. I don't know how that's doing right now, but the cards were tradable on OpenSea, but on Arbitrum. And like realistically, how many people have RB that are over there like, oh, I'm going to go buy a bunch of NFTs on Arbitrum? Like, the reality was it's not a lot. So like your audience and your available liquidity is like very small. People have to bridge over. It was the same thing with the Cool Pets thing. Oh, you got to bridge over to Arbitrum or to Polygon or to whatever before you could like participate and interact with. But like, you don't want to bridge all your funds because then you have to bridge them back and then whatever. So like people would bridge a little bit amount of money over there and go like participate, et cetera, et cetera. The interesting thing is just going to be like, what's going to happen with Ape Chain? Like, is everyone going to bridge over ApeCoin to Ape Chain? And then like, you know, is there enough liquidity there to support the token trading? Is there enough liquidity there to support, you know, potential NFT trades, if that's what we're working with as well? I mean, there's a handful of concerns. It's the same thing too. I don't know exactly how it'll work out, but similar kind of thing coming down the pipe with like the anime coin. That's going to be like an L3 or whatever, right? Something where yeah, I don't know. The token is the gas token on the chain, whatever, yada yada yada. But all those things don't function without like really deep liquidity, like for the most part. So then it's like you look at like what's going on with Blast. Oh, liquidity is being driven. So like everybody bridged a bunch of ETH over, and then realistically, it probably would have just sat. But then they introduced Blast Gold to then move liquidity around to these different apps. So they said, here, this app gets Blast Gold. This app gets Blast Gold. All the apps get Blast Gold. And what that did was it took all the liquidity that was just sitting there farming Blast points and it pulled it out and it said, okay, now all this liquidity is messing around with all the things, right? And so realistically, it'll be interesting to see what happens as well for like a second season of Blast. How will liquidity continue to be driven to different applications moving forward, and for extended periods of time? It's like, I feel like if Yuga put something on Blast, they would just continually have like the L2 token to reward the users to then, like, I don't know. It just seems kind of like an easy dub, but maybe I'm wrong.
We shall see. I think at the end of the day, we shall see. Ape Chain, I think there's some more information coming up, I think in June, but I could be fucking wrong. I don't have it in front of me. At the end of the day, man, we're here to learn a bunch of shit. I'm not going to open this can of worms right now, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see what that means, what questing means. That's still pretty blurry right now. So again, that's no play on words, by the way. I did not mean to do that at all. Truly. At the end of the day, there's a lot of stuff that we're not really sure about. I think Yuga is always taking a temperature check of everything. I really do believe that, especially with Garga at the helm. I do believe that they're much more open to different ideas and thoughts. What does that mean in the end? I don't know. I guess we'll see. Obviously, ApeCoin matters, or should matter, I think, to all things other side, and that's the whole plan. What does that mean, and how do they get there? I guess that's to be seen yet. So, last word before we get out of here, Mr. Bryce, then Will, and we'll shut it down.
ETF approval, stay bored. Let's go.
Yes, sir.
Wow. Okay. Just take all the last words, right? I mean,
He did all the one hitters real quick.
Yeah, no, definitely be on the lookout for some exciting stuff in the ETH world.
Nice.
So
ETH world, here we come.
ETF approval. Let's go, baby.
Let's go, baby. Again, we
0 to
appreciate
hero
you
in one day.
We appreciate y'all being here. Don't forget to follow us on YouTube. Subscribe, of course. Go to Twitch, go to X, go to all the places that you frequent. Like, subscribe, DM us if you ever have a thought. We appreciate the commentary. It really does help us continue our conversations as well. With that, it was Phil. It was Bryce. It was Will. Stay freaking bored. We out.
That money clip us now, the new now looks like. Whoa, upgrade her diamonds, now her girlfriends are like. Whoa, I hit record a drop, you can't ignore it. I'm transforming now these cars and planes, I'm always boarding. Just out touring down in Charlotte like I play for Hornets. When I'm performing, never boring, now you can't afford it. Champagne Perrier, Finnish friends on my face.